Hey everyone and welcome. I'm Matt with Chaparral Motorsports. Check us out at chapmoto.com for all of your riding needs. Today we're going to take a closer look at the WASPcam 9900. Let's take a look. So the WASPcams are brand new to us here at Chaparral Motorsports. And in this video we're going to go ahead and pull out all of the features, the benefits, and what this camera has to offer. Now you're also going to hear my thoughts on it and what I think, and you're going to hear me reference GoPros a lot. Just because GoPros are the pinnacle of all POV action cams, they're the ones who really revolutionized the way we capture our moments. But with those feature-rich products comes a high price tag. That's where the WASPcam comes into play. It's very affordable and it's very simple to use. So let's get right into the features, but before we do, click the upper right-hand corner of your screen. This will subscribe you to our YouTube channel, and it will also keep you in the loop with the latest gear, new products, and tech tips. The camera that we have here on the table is their 9900 model. This is their mid-range camera that's sold complete with a wireless wrist remote, and this just lets you use basic functions like start and stop your video and take still images right there on your wrist. Now this one's right at $230 and it's also sold without the wrist remote for about $30 less, so either option is very affordable. Now they do have a basic 1080p HD camera they call jacked that's well under $200, and at the opposite end of the scale they have a more advanced camera called their Gideon 9902. In my opinion, I think it's more comparable to a GoPro Hero 4, but it's still very aggressively priced. So my first impressions of this camera right out of the box is that it is thicker than a GoPro Hero 4. However, when an accessory pack is applied to the GoPro, then these cameras are comparable in size. Hopefully that gives you a better reference on sizing. Now with that being said, the camera is still fairly lightweight, so you shouldn't have any issues when mounting it on the side of your helmet. Now let's go ahead and talk about the case itself. It's very functional. You're able to access your camera functions through the top of the housing. They do supply you with two doors. One is the exposed door, so this is going to allow the housing to pick up better audio. And then you have your waterproof door, which is waterproof up to 196 feet, so you have a pretty decent range there. Now the waterproofing is also going to help to keep the camera dust proof. So this is going to be great if you're on the trail, let's say on a side-by-side or perhaps a quad. Speaking of mounts, WASP has their own lineup of different mounting options and different accessories, but what's really cool is that they supply you with this adapter to be compatible with all GoPro mounts that you may already have. So that just adds to the versatility of this camera. So now let's go through some of the camera functions, starting on the outside. Again, you have a very easy to follow 2-button function up at the top. So you have your shutter button and your power button, and this is also going to act as your selector. You have indicators on the top and on the bottom. You're going to have a green light that's going to either flash or stay lit up. This is going to let you know that the unit's powered on or that you're taking still images, and then you have a red indicator on the bottom to let you know that you're in recording mode. Now on the side here you have a port for your external mic. You have a port for your USB cord, which is going to let you offload the media and also charge the unit. And then on the other side you have a port for your HDMI and a micro SD port, which is going to support a 32 gig card that's a class 6. What's really cool about this camera too is that it has a built-in flash memory, up to 256 megabytes, which is going to be better off for your still images, not so much the recording aspect, because that's just going to get eaten up really quickly. Now a standout feature that I like on this camera is the accessibility to the battery. Most cameras at this price point are going to have a built-in battery, which is going to make it harder later on down the road if you have to swap them out. So you have your lithium-ion battery that is replaceable and also rechargeable. So let's go ahead and power up the camera. You can see the light flashing, and then it's going to display this very easy to read, very easy to see LED screen. You're going to see your frame rate and resolution. You have your number of files that are on the camera, battery life indicator, storage life indicator, also the shooting mode, so in this case it's going to flash ultra, and then you have your little arrow that's going to show you where to hit the record button. So it's very simple to use. A beginner can go through this thing and go ahead and start recording, and it's very simple for a professional to go through it as well. You have 3 different resolutions to choose from. You have 1080p at 30 frames per second, 960 at 30 frames per second, and 720 at 60 frames per second. So you're going to get some good slow-mo. Now as far as the camera goes, it has a 5 megapixel camera, which I would like to see at least an 8 megapixel camera just for better detail in your stills. However, you do have some pretty cool settings or modes in the camera itself. You have a time lapse, which has 1, 3, 5, 10, and 30-second intervals. You have a burst mode at 10 photos per second and also a self-timer at 10 seconds. So you're able to capture some cool stills. Another great feature is the built-in Wi-Fi. Now this will allow you to connect to their free mobile app via smartphone, and it's available for iPhone and Android users. So what this app will allow you to do is see what the camera sees, also use the settings and functions of the camera right there on your phone. Also play it back in real time, which is really cool. Now, you do have a range of 50 feet. Same goes for the wireless remote, 50 feet on that, and it can control up to 5 different cameras for different angles. Our experience with this camera was good. We actually really like this thing. Now, we compared it to our GoPro Hero 3. Now, the footage is raw, straight out of the camera. We shot at 1080p at 30 frames per second, and what we noticed is that the WASP footage is actually more vivid and a little more saturated than the raw GoPro footage, so take that into consideration. Before we wrap this up, I wanted to quickly go over what comes in the box that'll get you started. You're going to see 2 sticky mounts, the USB cable with the wall charger, a lens cap cover, a tether, the GoPro mount adapter, the 2 different doors, the software, and owner's manual. With all things considered, this thing is affordable, extremely easy to use, and very versatile. So to find more info on this camera, go to shapmoto.com and don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube. Thanks for watching. I'm Matt. We'll see you next time.